And we are going live. Wow. Okay. I wasn't planning on doing a podcast today, but I sit down in this chair and I'm like, man, it's been a minute and it is time. It is time to talk. It is time to talk. It is time to catch up. It is time to get back into it. In fact, I'm actually checking right now, and the last time I uploaded a podcast was about over a month ago. Let me see what the date was. Let's see here. Will it even say May 22nd? Wow. So it's been over a month, almost 2 months now. We're getting to about a month and a half. Hi. Okay. Sorry. I'm scatterbrained right now. I'm all over the place. I haven't shot an episode in a minute. I haven't shot a podcast in a minute, which is, I know I'm curious from your perspective, what is that like? Because I know you guys see this and you think it's this 30, not even 30 minutes, sometimes just this 20-minute podcast. He doesn't have time to just do a 20-minute podcast. Maybe that's my own projections that I'm throwing onto you guys. But, sometimes I think to myself, yes, like same thing. But in my mind, I'm like, man, I have to record the podcast and then do the thumbnail and then do the editing, then make sure it's uploaded, then do the description. And it's this whole process. It's not just 30 minutes. And I'm trying very hard not to burn myself out. That seems to be my problem, is I burn myself out a lot. But what is going on? Why have I been gone for so long? Why have I not done the podcast so long? And what are we talking about today? And I'm going to be honest with you guys. Today's going to be a bit of a faith-based episode. In fact, I think my episodes from now on might be all faith-based. I try to be as authentic and as real as possible with you guys. And I used to make content for attention, and I used to do things for attention. I used to live my entire life for attention. And I'm just beyond that now. Hence why I don't upload as much anymore. I don't post as much anymore. I don't, drill or berate myself for not getting things done or as much as I should. And so I've been focusing on being authentic, and I try to be authentic in these episodes. I want to try to create a space on the internet where we can be real and these things aren't fabricated. They're not like, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I literally just sit down, turn on the camera, and then just start recording. And I just speak whatever is on my mind, whatever I feel like I need to say. What does God want me to say today? What direction do I need to take this? Where am I going? I'm battling my own sins and my own thoughts and my own issues every single day, my own life every single day. And it's very, very real. It's very real. But I think it's important for me to say that and for me to show that, because so many of you are coming to these episodes looking for something to help you, looking for something to guide you or to correct you or to help you get back on track when you're feeling lost and you're feeling confused and you don't know what's going on. And it's an injustice for me to sit down, press record, and pretend to be somebody I'm not. And so I'll tell you, I've been busy. I've been busy finding God. I've been busy getting ready for the baby. I've been busy being a husband. I've been busy living my life. And I think there is a beautiful reflection between me and you. Don't be so busy searching for answers and absorbing content and digesting information that you forget to just go out and just do it for yourself. The fastest way to learn something is to just go try. But you're so afraid of failure. You're so afraid of getting it wrong. Have you no faith? Is what I've been telling myself. I'm the same way. I'm the same way. I'm a perfectionist at heart. I think one of my greatest challenges in life has been telling myself to slow down and give myself permission to fail, because I compare myself so deeply with everyone else around me. How can they do that? How can they do this? How can they do that? I work and work and work and work and work, and I work until I get sick. Why do I get sick? Why is my body not able to do what their body can do? And I'm sure you feel the same way about a lot of different things. Why is my life difficult? Why is my relationship this way? Why is my own mind this way? My own brain, my own heart, my own me? Why am I the way I am? So many questions. And, I think for me, the biggest breath of fresh air has been my faith and falling into God. And it's also been a challenge. Like, it hasn't been easy. It hasn't been easy at all. I'm eating blueberries and drinking coffee right now. This is as real as it gets, guys. And you know what? I love the transparency. My hair is all kind of messed up. I've been very lazy today because I've just been under the weather. I'm trying to beat this cold, man. But no, it's there's something beautiful in heaven, in God, and learning all these different things. I've learned to just relax. I've learned to relax and to realize that I have a God. Why deny? I've spent my whole life deny, work. Have I no faith that God will give me what I need as I need it? Have I no faith? And so part of me, like I play this battle in my mind where, and I'm going to be honest with you guys here. I'm not going to have anything direct for you. I'm sorry. I'm going to rant about myself for a second. In a teachable format, I'm going to try to just open up, and hopefully something I say resonates with you. And I'm going to say these things in a sense of, this is what I did. Maybe you can draw to this. Maybe you can't. And this is going to be very, I don't know what I'm going to title this episode, but it's probably going to be something like my how I found God or find God. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just human. I'm just a man. I'm just a person with the same parts as you. Figuring this out as we all are. So my issues, or I guess my thought pattern recently has been trying to solve so many problems. Obviously, in relationship coaching and the scope that I'm in, with my school, Learning to Love, I have a lot of projects on mind, a lot of things that I'm working on, that I'm putting together. And I only have so much time to do it because I don't know if you guys know this, but I also, outside of this, I work a full-time job. And I have a very demanding job. And then on top of that, we have the baby on the way. I have my wife, my family, everyone around me. And so you have all these buckets that you're trying to hold. And you get to a point where it's no longer about how much can you carry, but which ones are you going to drop? Which bucket do you drop this week? And that used to be the challenge of like, well, I can't drop my marriage, I can't drop my family, and I can't drop my job. Those are the things that are keeping me where I am. But can I drop, maybe I don't have time to write the Instagram reels today, which I don't know if you guys realize that too, but I write all the reels. I write the reels. I take your questions, I take what people need to learn, and I will spend hours trying to script these things, trying to write them in a way that's going to save someone. And that's hard. It's hard because we're talking about such critical concepts, and I'm a perfectionist. I'm so afraid of getting something wrong. I'm so afraid of giving someone bad advice. which maybe, part of the reason why I'm good at what I do, but also maybe why I'm not quite as fast or as productive. I think I'm just slow and methodical about it. I'm sure you do things in life where you're thinking, man, I just can't seem to speed up. And then I thought, well, whose clock am I running on? Am I running on my clock, the world's clock, or God's? Really, think about that for a second. Who are you racing against, and why? 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 There is so much there when you read about God. There is a lot of pain. In realizing how many things you care about that just don't matter. You start to realize how far gone not just yourself, but the world around you has separated from what's important. And yeah, you hear it all the time. Family's important, love's important. But it goes so much deeper than that. So much deeper into how much time and energy do you spend on your appearance? Or do you spend on how you walk, how you talk, how you do every little piece of life? Everyone is so anxious to get it right. And it's hard because you are trying to learn, right? You're absorbing this information. You're absorbing the information of the world, which is ever changing from 1,000 different stems. It's like trying to study a root that has been rooted in 1,000 different places. It's not one just plant in the ground. It's not a stake. It's a root system. And you have 1,000 intricate, unique vessels of information that are interwoven into 1,000 different opinions that you can't navigate because you're listening to the world. And then you read, and you start learning, and you start studying, and you start thinking, why am I so concerned about this? I'm concerned about if I don't post this many videos a week, then my Instagram will lose traction. My momentum will be gone. My business will start to die. My passions won't work. Why? Well, I need these things in order to move my family along, to provide for my family, for this, that, and the other. Is that how you provide? And then I play this phrase in my head, which is, have you no faith? Whose clock are you running on? God is telling you, slow down. It's all going to work out just fine. Why are you rushing? Why are you rushing? What are you in a hurry for? And so I slow down. I slow down. And I just give it all to God. And that's also something I've been learning, which is, what does that mean? What does that mean when you say give it to God? Because trust me, if I could give God my anxiety, if I could give God my depression, if I could give God my stress and my worry, I would. And I'm sure some of you are hearing this and you relate, you think, fuck, man. Yeah. What does that mean, give it to God? How do you just give it to God? The more I thought about this phrase, the more I realized giving it to God isn't just this, here, have it. I had to learn. I had to absorb. I had to dive into the Word of God, to study, to learn. I read and read and read. And I'm sure, as you can tell in these videos, I relate more and more and more to God, because that's what this is. Your life is a translation. It's God saying, should you love me enough, you'll learn to read what I've said. Should you love me enough, you'll put in the work to decode it, decipher it, to understand me. And once you know me, you know how to reach me. And once you know how to reach me, then you can hand me what you need. Then you can give me what you want me to take from you. And all of a sudden it made sense. And I was reading Matthew, the book of Matthew, and Jesus is, I don't know if it was a Sermon on the Mount or the Beatitudes. I don't know if I pronounced that right. I haven't looked up how to say that word. But Jesus is talking about don't worry. He's saying, when has worrying ever added an hour to your life? And I thought, man, I worry about quite a lot. And I thought, it's not about getting rid of the worry. It's about having so much love and so much faith in God that there just is no need to worry. Even now, as I'm looking at the clock, I'm 17 minutes into this podcast, this recording that I was not planning on doing today, by the way. I was actually coming down here to sit down and check on my school, and I was like, I just need to click record and just go. Why? I don't know, but here I am, and I'm not worried about it. I'm supposed to be recording scripts because I haven't posted in so long, but I'm like, slow down. What are you in a rush for? God is not telling you to hurry, 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 hurry. God is telling you you're doing fine. You're telling yourself to rush. And for what? You're not God. And that's the beauty behind it. We try to be the gods of our own lives. Not knowing that we can't accept the capacity of what that entails. You cannot do this alone. You did not make yourself. You did not create the world. You do not know this world. Give everything you have taken into yourself and give it back. Give it away. Let it go. You will be just fine. Man, it's, I don't ever, it's hard because you don't ever want to be the person that's forcing religion down someone's throat. And that's not what this is. I don't want this to be religious. I want people to get to know Jesus the way I have. And I want people to know that all these questions, there are answers. You just have to trust. And it's so hard to trust, but what else is there? You've trusted yourself for so long. Aren't you tired? Aren't you tired of being alone? And that's the thing, is you don't want to be alone, but you're choosing to be from God. You're choosing to be separate from God. I'm the last person you would have ever thought was going to become this, was going to start preaching. And even now, I feel like a hypocrite. I feel like I lack the knowledge or the humility to actually talk about it, but I say that with full honesty and transparency that I'm just doing my best to try to give someone what I've given myself because it helped, because it's true, because it's real. I can't explain to you why it's real. I'm not God. But I can tell you that the more I've trusted and trusted and trusted through the pain, through the questions, through the misery, I've continued to trust until every single time it finally just clicks. Not because God wants me to go through this pain, but because I have had such a hard time letting go of the world in order to make space for God. This desire to appease social media, this desire to appease the podcast, this desire to appease the school, to do all these things for a timeline that was never given to me from anyone other than myself. And I burn out and I can't do it. And I run myself into a wall. And this entire time, God is saying, slow down. There are other things that are just as important. Pay attention to your wife. Pay attention to your family. Slow down. It's okay to just stop and smell the roses. He made them for a reason. Do not forget to look at the world, to enjoy it, not to conform to it, to enjoy it. Don't conform to the world, conform to God, and everything else falls into place. And I tell you to find your relationship on your own. On your own. It is your relationship with God and nobody else's. The same as a marriage. It's your relationship to them. Nobody else. Nobody else. It's just you and your spouse. The same way it's you and Jesus. That's it. It's you and God. It is you and God. I'm gonna read you guys something. I don't know who this will help, but I know it helped me. It helped me finally learn, when we say give it to God. I was writing this and it just came to me. And it all kind of made sense. And so I'm going to give it to you. I would post this in a reel. I will be posting this in a reel eventually, but I'm going to read it to you now because I think it's fitting. You know what? I'm going to read you two things, actually. I'm going to read you two. This first one is not what I was going to read, but I also think it's fitting and it might help somebody. It's short. They're simple. But it was just a question of how do I learn to love myself? And I thought, man, that's a great question because there's a million different ways you can go about it. And, every time I answer these questions, I think of what I did for myself, what I do, right? Because I don't know. I always like to say, you know what? Sometimes I have answers, sometimes I don't. But I'll always tell my truth because I'm not a liar. And sometimes I say, well, you can do X, Y, and Z system. And sometimes I'm like, pray about it. That's what I did. I'm a coach, but I'm an honest man. And so I think, great question. How do I learn to love myself? And I thought, what did I do? Well, learn about God. And I say that because the greatest example of true, uncorrupted love was Jesus Christ. So who better to learn from than him? He knows what you need to know. He did what you need to learn, and he does what you need to do. So learn, study, read, and get to know him. And then in absolute sincerity, ask yourself, what would Jesus do? And that has been a muscle for me that I've been training, I've been developing, I've been growing this muscle. And it's blossomed. It has blossomed. I'm sorry, I'm drinking coffee. I'm burping right now. It's ruin the moment. Whatever. Actually, I think I need to. My camera's about to start it up again. There we go. Or run out of space. I don't know. Whatever. Camera stuff. But no, I learned to love myself by paying attention to how Jesus loved the world. And the more I read about it and the more I learn about it, the more it started to make sense. And I started to give myself this sense of freedom, this grace that I can't explain, but it's made so much sense to my life. It's truly been a blessing. And so for those of you that are struggling with your own demons, your own roadblocks, and you are looking for that transformation, you are trying to figure out how to give it to God, let me read this to you. The question was, how do I overcome my own self-sabotage? And my answer is stop giving into the world. Stop giving into your flesh, into yourself. Lust, addiction, temptation, all of it. You were given the body to worship the soul, and yet you use the body to worship yourself. Why are you so selfish? You use vices to relieve a pain that you give to yourself because you refuse to let it go. You claim you want to change, and yet you're unwilling to die on your cross, the cross you nailed yourself to. Now I say read Romans 6:6 and Ephesians 4:22 through 24. And if you want to, you can open up a Bible and you can go find those verses for yourself. But that last part just hit me differently. And there's really been these two things, these two topics that have been on my mind for so long, which is, can you bear your cross? And can you forgive? And I've been searching for peace, searching for peace, searching for peace. And I always think, what does that mean? What does that mean? What does that mean? I've forgiven myself. I've forgiven those around me. Why is that not enough? I carry my cross and I suffer and I suffer and I suffer. Why is it not enough? What am I missing? And then I think about it and I thought, I just haven't gone the full journey yet. Jesus didn't just bear the cross, he died on it. And I thought, well, what is this cross that I'm bearing? Well, I'm bearing this cross with my history, my demons, my faults, my sins. And I'm trying to fight and overcome them. And I'm fighting and fighting and fighting and fighting and fighting. But I'm also like, that's my I've nailed myself to that cross. And why am I still fighting? Well, I'm still fighting because I just can't, I just won't let them die. I won't let them die. I hold on to them. Why? For what? You don't need the strength to fight. You just need the strength to let it die. Let the worry die. Let your anxiety die. Let your stress die. Let your fear die. Let those burdens that you have nailed yourself to finally just die. And I thought, I have to spiritually kill the old me in order to be born into the new me. And I don't know why, but for some reason, when I think of that in my mind, when I make that connection, all of the weight, all of the burdens, all of the pressure finally just let go. And it was almost like God's way of saying, you get it. Now you understand. Which brings me to the second point of forgiveness. I've forgiven and I've forgiven and I've forgiven. Why don't I feel better? Why do I still have this fear, this pain, this sorrow? And I thought, I saw this video and it was like, who have you not forgiven? When you feel like you can't feel God or you are losing the Holy Spirit, first thing I ask myself is, who have I yet to forgive? Man, not just right now. I think about my whole life. I think about my entire life. Who have I not forgiven? There's been a lot of things I've done wrong. There's a lot of things that have done wrong to me. Who have I not forgiven? And I think to myself, well, in the situations I think of the most now, I've forgiven myself. I've forgiven those that I love. I've forgiven those around me. And yet, who am I still afraid of? Who am I still worried about? Who am I still stressing over? The world. The world. I'm mad at the world for giving me the ideas that I have. I'm mad at the world for teaching me the things that I've learned. I'm mad at the world for creating the fears that I've developed. I'm mad at the world for creating who I am. I am mad at the world for corrupting me in so many different ways. And it brings me back to that moment where Jesus is on the cross and he says, "Forgive them, Father, they know not what they do." Jesus told God to forgive the world for crucifying him. And I thought, well, Zane, you've forgiven yourself. You've forgiven those closest to you. Can you forgive the world for everything it's done to you? Can you give the world a clean slate? To say we're starting over right now. Yeah, it's hard. But it's also like, again, like I just surrendered and finally was like, yeah, all right. Clean slate. And I felt all the pressure just go. And again, it was like God telling me, you get it. You get it. And I guess life's just simpler now. Yeah. We're still going to have our problems. We're still going to go through things. We're still going to do we're still going to go through life. But I finally know how to stop getting in my own way. And I finally feel like I can start over. And we just do the best we can with what we know. But I try not to get distracted from the world anymore. The worldly things just aren't important to me anymore. which is is a lot nicer. I'll admit. You know what's crazy is people. Yeah, I think why is the world? Oh, but God is so demanding, so demanding. It's demanding as the world. It's a lot easier to please God than it is to please the world. That is for sure. I. Life's just easier when I can wake up and go, how can I just do right by God today? And how can I slowly develop this muscle to differentiate and to separate what is Zayn doing for Zayn and what is Zayn doing for God? And I slowly, every single day I cut away at that ego. And I slowly let the ego just die. I just let it go. I just let it go. But yeah. That's the episode for today. I don't know. I'm figuring this all out with you guys. I embrace my authenticity now. I think in the past I used to try and say things to fill in the gaps and this and that, and now just if I have something to say, I have something to say, and if I don't, I don't, and that's okay. I'm just here to provide testimony so that someone who hasn't learned something will hopefully learn through me. That's it. That's all there is to it. Other than that, hey, how can I do right by God today? That's all that matters. And then he'll take care of the rest. Hey, do these little things for me. I'll take care of the big things. Say yes, sir. And life's just better. Yeah. I love you guys. I love you guys. All right. That's all I got for you guys. I'm gonna sign off now. I'm gonna try to do these podcasts more often. I think these podcasts really help out. I think they go a lot deeper than some of the other stuff. So, God bless. Take it easy. And I don't know. If you're feeling up for it, maybe go learn about God. All right. I'll see you.